Now, as some of you have already spotted and sent us links, the 106 metre or 350 foot super yacht Amadea is being auctioned by the US government on the 10th of September in a sealed bid auction. This took us really by surprise, actually. The auction is being held with a forfeiture order from the US Federal District Court in the Southern District of New York. In 2022, the yacht headed to the Caribbean and it went to Antigua. Now, on the 7th of March, I think it was the 7th of March, 2022, when Ukraine was invaded by Russia, whether it was coincidence or not, the vessel switched off its AIS while it was in Antigua for 11 days, which is what we said in the video, and I'll show you that on screen. In actual fact, I'm going to show you a clip from the original video from the 7th of March.
Karimov, he's a Russian billionaire and he's also on US and EU sanctions lists. His vessel, Amadea, disappeared, at least from an AIS point of view, on the 24th of February 2022, the day of the invasion of Ukraine. So earlier I mentioned that Nord was heading to a secret location. Well, from what I understand, Motor Amadea is planning to head to that same location, and reportedly in Russia.
About 11 days after they switched off AIS, the vessel left Antigua and headed towards the Panama Canal. They switched back up their AIS when they left Antigua. This vessel habitually switched off its AIS when it was in port. That was confirmed to us by a crew member who we spoke to one day on the quayside in Antibes. We told them that their AIS was switched off, and he said, "Oh yeah, we always switch it off when we're in port," which is not illegal, by the way, but it was just interesting because it's not normal behaviour for any vessel to do that. So the vessel headed Panama, went through the canal, went to Mexico, presumably refueled in Mexico, and then it headed across the Pacific. And we believed at the time that the vessel was heading to Vladivostok, as was Motor Yacht Nord, heading from the other side. But the vessel then turned and went to Fiji, which we believe, because it had done so many miles, that it was probably going there to refuel. As soon as the vessel arrived in Fiji, it was detained by the Fijian authorities under a request from the US government. US government flew in their own yacht crew to replace the people who were still on board. The handover happened, and then the vessel left and headed to San Diego via Hawaii. You won't believe this, but in the case in the US, in the affidavit submitted by the defense of the person who claimed to own the vessel, they put forward an affidavit and I'll read a section to you. They actually blamed our channel for this whole thing. They said on March 7, 2022, a YouTube channel named Easisman Superyachts posted a video on YouTube entitled "Superyacht Disappears the Day of Russian Invasion of Ukraine," episode 49, Superyacht News. And they said, without any sourcing, the YouTuber stated that while Amadea's owner was steeped in mystery, the vessel was currently owned by sanctioned Russian billionaire Suleiman Karimov. He also stated that the Amadea's AIS had been turned off for 11 days, starting on the day of the invasion of Ukraine. These statements were false. Like I said, I'll put on the screen right now a screen grab of the AIS data from marine traffic from that time. In the bottom corner, you can see the date there. I think it says the 24th of February. And the date we posted was the 7th of March. And that date was the last time the AIS had been broadcast from that vessel, right? So 11 days, more or less, I guess it was, when we posted that video. So that's in itself, it shows you that the vessel had turned off its own AIS system, right? They probably got some excuse for why it wasn't being broadcast on marine traffic, but yeah. And then go back to this thing. It says, just 3 weeks after the Easisman video on April the 1st, 2022, the government submitted a request for assistance to the Republic of Fiji, seeking interviews of crew members and documents on board the Amadea. By this date, the government was pursuing a theory that the vessel was owned by Karimov upon information and belief based on the rumours started by Easisman. Like I said, the rumours, what they called rumours, was information from insiders people who are terrified to be named because of the repercussions that would happen if they were found out to be speaking to us. This is common in this industry. It's a very secretive industry for obvious reasons. There's an argument like people want their privacy, which is acceptable, which is understandable. If you want us to not tell passers-by on the quayside who owns the yacht, that's understandable. But if you're telling the captain not to speak to the authorities about who owns the yacht, then you've got to ask why that is. And, that does not sound like somebody who's a legitimate person, right? So, many people speak to us on the understanding that their identity will be kept confidential. And many people told us at the time who the new owner was, that the vessel had been sold, etc., etc. Hi, thanks very much for watching this video. If you want to see the full news videos, click on the link over here. And if you'd like to find the channels, you can find the links below here. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.